What song breaks your heart every time you listen to it? A few weeks ago I went to a wedding where I didn't know the groom, so I didn't think I would cry at it. Then they played You'll Be in My Heart from Tarzan for the mother-son dance and I started crying. Edit. Apparently this was the mother-son dance song for lots of people. If you got married in San Antonio, TX a few weeks ago, then it might have been your wedding. Thank you for making me cry. Seems like a good thread to make a depressing playlist from. Rainbow Connection. Yes, a song sung by a Muppet makes me cry every time. When She Loved Me by Sarah McLachlan. I only hear it when my son watches Toy Story 2, which is a lot. Alice in Chains, Nutshell. Vincent, Starry Starry Night, Don McLean. How would you react if World War III starts? Worried, but what can I do about it? Worried, but rent is still due. First off, I'd return my library books. I don't want that on my conscience in the post-apocalyptic future. Go down to the pub, order a pint, and wait for it all to blow over. I would say, well shit, and hope that they don't use nukes. I'd write a letter to Valve to show them that 3 can happen. Which musician has the worst toxic fanbase? I feel uniquely qualified here, though my answer is dated. In the 90s and early 2000s, I worked for AOL managing their music forums full-time. Paid, etc. Moderators monitored all boards, every post, but didn't mete out punishment. Instead, we could remove a post if it was a clear TOS. Terms of service violation, and report it to the TOS department and they'd take it from there. But that was usually limited to any swear harder than damn or hell. Early internet services were ridiculous. We could remove particularly bad flame troll posts, but it was conditional. The person could appeal and TOS might reinstate it, because without the overall context, it looked okay. That meant we'd address trolling and flaming. We had to diplomat the shit out of it in build cases. I had mail threads, files, paper printouts of cases I presented in hopes of getting a troll, aka disruptive party, removed from the area or banned from the service, which was always temporary. Always. AOL was very reluctant to take any action against that kind of behavior. To the point where I lost a friend and had people quit over it. Hi, Lone Star K. I spent a ridiculous amount of time trying to talk members into playing nice. This was required of us on every board, every forum. While I was there, no matter how bad it was, we had to keep doing this. Except for one board. It had the most vile flame wars, the most hateful fans, the most nasty gatekeeping. They absolutely hated each other and they kept coming back for more. Without the ability to mute, ban, or lock, and with limited clearance to remove posts, I could spend a full day trying to quell just one of their weekly flame wars. It was hell. Even TOS got so sick of it that they finally told me to stop moderating them for anything other than swearing and death threats. It was just too much work for everyone. But the artist was huge, so they didn't want to close the board. I guess? Out of hundreds of boards, it's the only one where I ever got that direction. That board was not a metal group. It was not rap. It was not 2 Live Crew or Motley Crue. It was not Ted Nugent. It was not even a controversial artist. It was Barry fucking Manilow. I've been on the internet for over 30 years and involved in offline fandom since well before then. And those Manilow fans were the nastiest, meanest, most hateful, acid-spitting, derogatory, aggressive, malicious group of fans I have ever seen anywhere in my 30-plus years on the internet and lifetime in offline fandom. Barry is great, but his fans gave me scars. I once commented something mildly critical of Jared Leto. I essentially said that his fatsuit in House of Gucci looked bad. And I was getting weirdly vindictive replies, messages about it for days on end. His fanbase is fucking intense. Chris Brown. His fans constantly defend him despite him being a colossal piece of shit. The Wiggles, their fanbase just acts like a bunch of children. K-pop fanbase seems mad sometimes. Most K-pop groups. It wasn't fun when idols were mostly known in Asia, and it certainly didn't get any better after it went international. What is one thing that you flat out just don't know how people afford? Women who keep up with nails, lash extensions, Botox etc. That shit is expensive as fuck. Secret hidden families. I can barely afford one. A boat or RV. Or both. I can barely afford to exist, much less spend all this money on recreation. First class airfare, it's just so overwhelmingly expensive in comparison to regular seats. I can't imagine anyone ever having that amount to spare unless you're incredibly wealthy. Multiple family foreign holidays per year. Modern day house prices. $600K used to buy you a serious mansion. Now it's an average family home. I make a good income. My girlfriend also has a normal average income. Yet we can barely afford an averagely priced house these days. What is an addiction people have, but don't know about? External validation. Toxic relationships. People get hooked on the obscene level of drama, and they think that makes it somehow more real than other people's healthy relationships. Procrastination. Making lists of things you should do and avoiding tasks. It's oddly and seductively comforting. Social media. Mobile screen addiction. Doom scrolling. What's the worst part of having a child? Having to deal with their total lack of self-preservation. They are creative and come up with all kinds of ways to try and kill themselves. Keeping ahead of the game is exhausting. Cleaning. Endless cleaning. It's infinite. The days drag on, but the years fly by. When people ask me this, I say, you know those video games where you have to escort a character to a destination without them being attacked? That's parenting. Those missions are a pain in the ass. Worrying about how the outside world will treat them. Having to take care of a sick child when you are also sick. For me, that has been the most challenging part so far. Which food has the smallest window between great and terrible? Pears off my mother's pear tree. Checked them in the morning before work. Still hard as a stone. Went to grab one for dessert. One was fuzzy and the other was unpleasantly squishy. Sushi. There's always great sushi, but when it's terrible, it's, well, horrible. Calamari. When it's fresh and cooked well, it's really great, but most of the time, it's overcooked. And the experience is like chewing on the rubber tires from toy cars. It must be difficult to get it just right. I've stopped ordering it to avoid expensive disappointment. Avocados. 1 minute they're not ripe. 10 minutes later they're ripe. 10 minutes after that they're rotten. McDonald's fries. Subscribe, my brothers.